Welcome to another installment of Moon Magic. I am Thraicie Hawkner of Eye of Horus.
I'm Heather Roan Robbins, astrologer here in the Twin Cities, and astrologer for the Eye of Horus and author of Star Codes, weekly astrological weather forecast.
And we are recording live from a genuine store, so do not be alarmed by interesting sounds. We have classes, workshops, readings, stuff. All kinds of fun goes on here.
Enjoy, come on down. Today we're talking about the last new moon of the year, and it's really right at the edge. And by the year I'm thinking of the astrological year, which begins on the moment of the spring equinox. So this on March 20th, early in the morning, at 4:36 a.m. here in the Midwest, the sun and moon conjunct at the very last degree of Pisces. And so it's in the middle of the night. And not only do they conjunct, but they're so close that it forms a total eclipse in other parts of the world. We won't see it because it'll be middle of the night and they're below us. But on the other side of the world, through the Arctic Circle, Northern Europe, Greenland, it'll be interesting to see the politics that unfolds from there, because often an eclipse heats up that part of the world. But those eclipses often act like astrological acupuncture, and they bring the sun and moon energy together and focus it and pour something into our chart. So if you have anything at the last degree of a mutable sign in your chart, or the very first degree of a cardinal sign, last degree of Pisces, Gemini, Aries, or Virgo, you may feel a shift or change in your life. Eclipses tend to work like they shake the tree and the right plums fall. So they precipitate action, but action that's about to happen anyway, that's ripe and ready to move. And it's the last new moon, last time to do this deep dream work. Within an hour of this, before sunrise, the moon goes into Aries, and that night the sun goes into Aries at around 5:40 p.m. So we have the spring equinox a few hours later. So first we work with the dreams, and then we work with, and now what do we do with it?
Dreams into action. So what we were thinking, what we were discussing earlier, was the idea of really paying attention to your dreams that night. If you're the sort who does any sort of journaling, this would be important. If you're the sort who does any sort of intentional focus as you're drifting off, that would be important. This is a beautiful time to work with Howelite or Sugilite as stones. These are very good for lucid or prophetic dreaming. And then as we roll that forward into the next day, things become very action-oriented Aries. We want to make sure that it's dreams that are coming true, not nightmares. So really choosing how you want to focus your action is important.
And this is underscored by the fact that Mercury and Neptune, the planet that rules Pisces, are conjunct exactly in Pisces 2 days before. So that whole week we have that process going forward and moving in together. And so I see it bringing some really wonderfully intuitive stuff coming in, and wonderfully magical time to do any divination work or any work about what do you need to tune into while the veils are thin right before, because we're going to be way too busy to tune into much right afterwards.
So if you're the sort who works with herbs at all, lavender and mugwort are very good for getting in deep and really finding those visions and really tapping in with the divinatory energy.
And then get ready for the spring equinox that night. And how do you like to work with the spring equinox? It's the astrological new year. It's the beginning of our whole cycle. It's the astrology day too, but it's how do you like to work with the spring equinox?
The equinoxes are so much about balance, dark and light, and we need so much balance in our lives, the yin and the yang of things. So just a real good time to celebrate evensies in whatever form you possibly can, and springtime. Now in this planting zone. Of course, we're not actually growing grass and sprouting flowers yet, but eggs, the idea of dyeing eggs, hunting for eggs, all of the rabbit lore, this is all very old tradition, very old magic, good stuff.
And you may consider putting and doing magical seeds, getting your seeds started, quite literally for your garden. I would wait a few days until the moon goes into Taurus. A waxing moon in Taurus is a very fertile time. That's 2 or 3 days after the spring equinox. Venus will already be in Taurus, and it will have just gone in a week before. And Venus in Taurus, Venus is very at home in Taurus. It's its own sign. And it gives us some grounding. It also says this could be a pretty spicy spring. If you're not in relationship, it's a fertile, restless, emotionally restless time. So you may want to consciously do something with that emotional restlessness. Reach out to people. Find ways of doing it so that it just doesn't become emotional discontent. Find ways of using it to connect and network and love and sort.
And I think Taurus is a very sensual sign as well, so anything experiential that a person can actually do, especially if you can do it together with someone. That's
right. And that earthing, grounding, massage, walking on the ground, doing ecological magic, doing ecological political work also grounds us and helps us with all the buzzy energy to feel like we're making good changes, because the spring is saying we won't stay the same, so let's make it a good change.
With all of the Aries influence that we're kind of rolling into, the appropriate application of personal power can be important too. So yes, choosing your target, choosing your focus. Use your powers for good.
Remember that, and have a wonderful astrological new year. Thank you.
And find us anytime at eyeofhorus.biz. So, beloved fans, thank you for joining us for another episode of Moon Magic. We will be doing this every couple of weeks, and you'll want to keep up. Subscribe to videos. If everything's gone correctly, there should be a clickable link here. Subscribe to the videos. The store itself can be found anytime. eyeofhorus.biz. Don't lose track of us. During the videos, we are constantly yattering about candles and stones and oils. Oh my. Stuff can be had, and we're not afraid of shipping. Feel free to click on products. Gotta have your stuff. Readings. Either myself, Thraicie Hawkner, or Heather Roan Robbins, fantastic astrologer. Book a reading, it's fun. And the music you've been listening to, by the way, composed for us by Johnny M. Johnny's music is also available. Important to patronize the arts. Thank you so much. Bye now.